Hello, my name is Andrew Collins and I'm a Telly addict. Well, the final episode of Line of Duty on BBC Two was a letdown, wasn't it? No, it wasn't.
Well, other departments can follow those particular lines of inquiry. We are only interested in one thing and one thing only, and that is bent coppers.
6 unmissable weeks of internally investigative intrigue from Jed Mercurio, crowned by what, for some people, was a cop-out. Why?
The target of the 5th of September ambush was a protected witness.
I'm not sure that the stragglers deserve it, but I'm going to steer clear of actually talking about whether or not Steely Keeley Hawes D.I. Lindsay Denton was guilty or not. This is just the previously on.
I need a safe and available destination ASAP.
You're facing a charge of conspiracy to murder. That's a life sentence.
I'm not going to be in here for life. I'm innocent.
Mercurio's big problem was the phenomenal episode 5, which had been what people who say game changer would call a game changer.
We believe these photos were used by John Thomas Hunter to blackmail you.
In the institutionally rotten Deputy Chief Constable Dryden, played with fiery hubris by Mark Bonner, Mercurio had made a plod for his own back. As a result, 6 could never really match it, no matter how it came out. But let's not quibble, it had real strengths. Such as the vexed cat and mouse between Series 1's old dog Neil Morrissey and gamekeeper turned poacher Craig Parkinson.
So, Cole, he knew this was the right place for the setup. Fast roads, in and out, far enough out for there to be no witnesses, not so far that you'd think you'd be en route to Timbuktu.
Makes sense.
Now here's the thing.
A thread that was deliberately left hanging for future series. Even those who felt shortchanged by the hastily stitched tapestry of loose ends lauded the acting, with special honours for Adrian Dunbar, Vicky McClure and the aforementioned Parkinson. But it was Keeley who'll be decorated at next year's awards.
Can I ask you one more favour?
Sure.
Do you mind just going by the nursing home? They want to send my mum's personal effects and I'd rather go and get them myself.
The big surprise for me was how surprised critics seemed to be that she was capable of such brilliance. I've been captivated by her since Spooks. I forgave Line of Duty episode 6 for its reliance on flashbacks and the arrogance of borrowing the Where Are They Now device from true life films and documentaries. I just hope Jed Mercurio doesn't retire in 1 year. We need him in work. Wednesday was quite a night for BBC Two, with barely time for the continuity announcer to decompress between the conclusion of one world-class piece of television and the next.
And to take part in a Q&A session with the writer of Line of Duty, Jed Mercurio, just go to bbc.co.uk/TV blog now. Next up, there's brand new drama from the writers of 2012 as Ian Fletcher gets a job at the BBC.
This was W1A, named after the postcode of Broadcasting House. But was it a drama or a comedy? For anyone who's ever worked for, with, at or near the BBC, it was a documentary.
So I'm talking on the phone, I'm looking around, still talking, I'm looking.
Hi.
No way.
Hello, Ian Fletcher.
Yeah, hi, I'm Will. Because I've actually been here all the time.
Yes, so have I.
But that's just like mental.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm actually like an intern.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
What does that involve exactly?
Yeah. Say again?
Writer-director John Morton, a man whose entire brilliant career since People Like Us has depended on BBC patronage, hereby does to his patron what he previously did to the Olympics in 2012. Very much on the inside of the tent, urinating out and somehow back in again, Morton discovers he doesn't even need to leave Broadcasting House to strike satirical oil.
It's been commissioned by Head of Output Anna Rampton.
Head of Output sounds made up, but it's not. There's one at ITN. And this is where the satire either hits the bullseye with its forensic ear for bull, or bounces off what is a very soft target.
Okay, good, alrighty.
Meanwhile, in Tommy Cooper, the daily senior team damage limitation meeting, chaired by Director of Strategic Governance Simon Harwood, is already underway.
Oh, right, good. Ah, thank God.
Apologies, everybody.
The great man.
First of all, the meeting wasn't in my syncopatical for some reason.
No, of course.
And then when Will came to find me, we ended up on the wrong floor, didn't we, Will?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, many apologies.
No, come on in.
Because of the unique way the BBC is funded, for now, it not only has to take this internal bullying, it has to fund it, support it, allow it to be filmed on its premises, and then, like Sebco last year, pretend to like it.
I mean, just see what happens in here. Right, no, that's something else.
Hugh Bonneville leads a cast so adept at mockumentary acting, which I assume is a module at RADA in a post-office marketplace, it's difficult to see the join. As someone who went to a meeting at the hot-desking Imaginarium that is New Broadcasting House recently, where the meeting room was too small for 4 people, so we had to adjourn to Cafe Nero, I was in pain throughout. Crying and laughing, 2 reactions for the price of 1. If you've never set foot inside the BBC, believe me, it's funny because it's true. Over on ITV, the Oscar-nominated writer Jeff Pope, who is also actually head of ITV Drama Factuality Production or something, has cornered the market in Killers. Having memorably depicted the Moors murderers in See No Evil and Fred West in Appropriate Adult, he's decided to tell the more obscure tale of matricidal monster Malcolm Webster. The subject of a big court case 3 years ago in Glasgow, The Widower, a three-parter, brings the scheming killer and male nurse to life, courtesy of Reece Shearsmith, no stranger to the strangely strange in The League of Gentlemen and more recently Inside Number 9. That Webster exists made him all the more ghoulish.
I like nice things. I've always liked nice things.
In Shearsmith's controlled hands, it was easy to imagine that under the nerdy bonhomie there was something of the not right about him. Although not so easy to imagine why sensible fellow health professional Sheridan Smith had, in 1993, laid down her barge pole and married him.
You take your hands out of your pockets, please. Look so slovenly.
This is our big adventure, moving up here. It's just the two of us.
Pope and co-writer Jim Barton had you shouting "Run away!" at the screen from this deftly imagined and well-staged moment onwards, although the clue was in the title. Under some taut, chilly direction from Paul Whittington, alumnus of Pope's excellent Mrs Biggs for ITV, also starring Smith, things got enjoyably gothic.
There you go.
Pope excels at this kind of dark, dramatic factuality. Quite how he, Whittington and Smith's next project, a biopic of Cilla Black, fits in remains to be seen. But it will be seen. Now, it's sad that HBO's adorable gay drama Looking has just ended on Sky Atlantic. I wish I'd been involved in the focus group for it.
The pupil cannot lie. If you see something that's arousing to you, and even if you try to look a little bit away, you still see dilation because it's an automatic response.
Just kidding. This was Undercover Doctor, Cure Me I'm Gay on Channel 4, in which Dr Christian Jessen from Embarrassing Bodies exposed himself to a series of so-called cures for homosexuality. But first, the Cornell University gayness test.
So in case you don't know it yet, you give me your responses, I would say you're gay.
So it's definite. And on a sort of on a spectrum, on a scale,
you were still responding almost exclusively to the males and not at all to the females.
So I sit very firmly at one end of the spectrum,
exactly.
Right?
Even the computer reading seemed to be sniggering like a schoolboy. But the cheeky presentation masked a serious subject, and Jessen encountered some seriously deranged methodologies.
You enjoy ejaculating in a woman's vagina.
Where Stephen Fry's homophobia documentary, Out There, went as far as Africa, South America, India and Russia, Jessen stuck to the good old US of A, Louis Theroux style.
The event is organised by protesters who claim to be cured gays, or ex-gays as they call it, and they're campaigning for gay conversion therapy to be available to under 18s throughout the US.
His indignation was sincere, his presentation style affable, and his obsession with evidence in keeping with his profession, even if the hidden camera exposure of quacks is fish in a barrel stuff.
No conventional consultation takes place at all. I'm simply given the outline of a brain and told to colour it in.
And I'll be honest, Dr Jessen's buff bod proved something of a distraction.
Escorting them to the treatment room, assisting in the giving of the treatment,
and start wearing real men's clothes.
I wouldn't like walking around in that.
But is there any medical basis? To get to the bottom of that question...
Interestingly, I took the Cornell test after the programme and discovered that I was a little bit more gay than I had been before it. To finish, TV marked 2 symbiotic 30th anniversaries with fitting one-off documentaries. The Miners' Strike and Me on ITV was a moving and personal oral history of the destruction of an entire industry by the enemy within Whitehall.
But what we've got is an attempt to substitute the rule of the mob for the rule of law.
Directed by Stuart Ramsey, it powerfully contextualised why some decimated pit communities declined to mourn the death of Margaret Thatcher last April.
Just look at this village. Look at it. It's desolated. And that's Thatcher. And that's why I'm here, because I'm pleased the likes of her have gone.
Worryingly, she was back in a stirringly esoteric edition of Arena on BBC Two, marking 30 years since the rule of mob was substituted by the rule of fluck and law, whatever happened to Spitting Image. There was far more to this mischievous reunion than the exhumation of the then Prime Minister's corpse, but it did make you long for an age when what wasn't called the political class gave caricaturists such lumpy and disparate personalities to animate, or reanimate. The Spitting Image Arena is on iPlayer until Thursday, so get in quick. And The Miners' Strike and Me is on ITV Player until the 11th of April. Your moment of zen comes from Cure Me I'm Gay. It's a profound moment of hesitation that speaks louder than words.
If homosexuality is caused by some terrible trauma, some child abuse, something like that, how then can it be a sin?
Well, that's a good question.